In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this mace in Blender. So firstly, I'm just going to go to Blender, and I have this new scene open, new empty scene. I'm going to press X and delete the cube, and I'm going to delete the light. Now I'm going to press Shift A and add in a cube. Click on cube. And I'm going to press Tab to go into edit mode. And now I'm going to press Control B. And I'm going to scroll the scroll wheel. And I'm also going to press 1. The segments should be an odd number of segments. I think I'm going to go with 3 segments. And now if I click on one of these vertices in the middle, there's actually 2 vertices there. So I'm just going to press A to select everything, and press M by distance, and I'll say that it removed 42 vertices. So if I click on one of these vertices now and drag it about, then it'll only be 1 vertex there. Okay, next I'm going to press 3 to select the faces, and I'm just going to press A to select everything. I'm going to go to select and checker deselect like this, and I have 1 deselect and 1 selected and 0 offset, which I think is the default value. I'm just going to press E to extrude. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to press I to inset, and I'm just going to inset the tiniest bit because we don't want this face over here, any of these faces, to be inset too much. I'm just going to press E. I'm going to scale it down into the middle, and then I'm going to press extrude by pressing E, and I'm going to scale it on the individual origins. And I'm going to press E one more time, drag it out a little bit, scale it down, press E again one more time, and then press S and 0. And again, we have some overlapping vertices. So if I click on one of these, drag it out, there's actually 4 vertices there. We only want 1. So what I'm going to do is undo that, press A, select everything, and I'm going to press M by distance. And I'll say removed 80 vertices. Okay, next we want to create the hole at the bottom. So I'm going to press 7 and 9 to go into bottom view. Or numpad 7, not regular 7 or 9. 7, 9. And I'm going to click 3 to go into face, select mode. I'm just going to select all these faces. Okay, press X and delete those faces. And now what I'm going to do is press 2 and Alt select this edge here. I'm just going to press E to extrude it, press S to scale it in a bit, like this, and then right click and click subdivide, and then do that one more time. And now, if you have loop tools, click loop tools and circle, and to get loop tools, just go to edit, preferences, and search for loop tools, and just check that, and then just click the X. So I think this needs to be scaled in a bit more. Move it down to make it a little bit more rounded out. Press E and Z, and then press E, scale it, E one more time, and we want a chain like this here, so I'm gonna add a little part for the chain to attach to. So So I'm just going to click on this edge and control click on the edge on the other side and press F. And I'm just going to press Alt to select the whole loop and select one of these edges and press F like this. And now I am going to press I. Actually, I'm going to select both of them. Actually, just one. Press I. I'm going to type in 0.01. I.01. Extrude on the Z. Now, we want to scale it up, but not on the individual origins. So you can go up here and change it to medium point, or press the period key and press 8, or just click on medium point. So now I can scale this on the y-axis. Change back to individual origins, scale on the y-axis, extrude them down. I'm just going to rotate it on the X, like 45 degrees, I guess. Rotate X, negative 45 for this one. And then extrude it like this. And now I think if I right click and click bridge faces, then I'll create a face there. Or a bridge of faces, I guess. Right click and shade smooth. But that's like way too smooth. So click on these 3 little vertices down here, that little icon, click on normals, auto smooth, and keep the angle at 30. Actually decrease it to like 14, or whatever looks good. I think that's good, 16-ish. Okay, next I'm going to make a plane scaled up, move this up, and press Shift A. I press Shift A to make that plane, by the way. Press Shift A and torus. And I'm just going to hide this by clicking on it and pressing H. And now I'm going to press Tab to go into edit mode, so I can change around the vertices, and press 7. And I'm going to press Shift Z to turn on wireframe mode. And I'm just going to extrude them. Extrude them and press GX. Like that. And now I'm gonna go to Object, Set Origin, Origin to Geometry, and then I'm gonna press Shift D to duplicate it, rotate it on the X-axis 90 degrees, and move it on the X just a little bit. And I'm gonna Shift D and move these on the X-axis by just pressing Shift D and X. And then I'm just gonna press Shift R to redo what I just previously did. Now there's 14 toruses, as it says torus 14 down there, and that's how many I want. And the toruses are the chain links. And move these up and over. I'm gonna scale up the plane. And for the plane, we want to simulate physics for everything. So I'm gonna click on this little physics properties icon, click on rigid body for the plane, and change the type to passive so that the chain links won't pass through the plane or the ground. So select all the chain links. Actually, just select one of them. Click on rigid body. Keep the type at active. Change the shape to mesh. And then select all the other chain links. And click object, rigid body, and I think add active, object, rigid body, and then copy from active. And so now all of these will have the same settings with the mesh on. Okay, now if I press space to play this, they'll fall to the ground and they'll collide with the plane. Great. So now what I want to do is press Alt H to unhide this spiky thing. And I'm gonna scale it up, move it up, and then rotate it on the Y axis by pressing RY and -90. I'm gonna move it on the X axis and the Z axis by pressing GX and GZ. And now I'm just gonna press RX90. Great. Okay. I hit space. This one isn't falling down because I haven't simulated physics or added the rigid body for it. So I'm gonna click on rigid body, type active, mass 10 kilograms, shape, change this to mesh, and that's not doing super well. If I change it back to 1 kilogram, no, I think what I need to do is select this and shift select the chain link and press Ctrl J to join them together. Let's right click, shade smooth, go here, turn on auto smooth, and turn it back. Well, actually 30 looks decent, I guess. Now what I want to do, I'm actually just gonna select all the chain links, press right click and shade smooth to make them look smoother. Okay, that's looking better when I play that. But this thing is still like wobbling around like crazy. That's because it's actually in the ground to start. So I'm just gonna move these up. Great. Perfect. And if you wanted this to act like a wrecking ball, you could rotate this on the y-axis. Actually, turn on median point, RY90, -90 actually. Looks like this. And now if I play this, this top chain link actually needs to stay still, so I'm going to select that and turn off dynamic. Now that's working, but if I rotate it on the y-axis a little bit, then I'll like move across. Then you got a wrecking ball. Great. A wrecking ball is not what we want. So I'm gonna turn on dynamic again. Select all these. Rotate them on the y-axis. Actually, I have to go back to frame 0 before I do anything. move these down. Now if I play this, it'll work again. So I think if I rotate it on the y-axis first, then this won't go over the chain. Maybe it still will. Okay, but it'll fall back down. Great. I'm gonna go to shading now. Click on this. And I'm gonna click new material to make a new material. And press Shift A and search for texture, image texture, and click open. And I have a grunge texture in my downloads folder. Yeah, okay, this is the right one. It's just a grunge texture. Now, if I go back, frame 0, give a shading, tab into edit mode, and press A to select everything, and press U and Smart UV Project to unwrap it nicely. I'm not actually sure this is the right grunge texture. Pretty sure it's not. But whatever. I'm gonna press Shift A, and we want this to make it like bloody and stuff, so press Shift A, color. Is it not color? I'm not sure. Okay, I just have to search for color ramp. Now, drag the factor into the color, drag the color into the base color. And now, if I select the black one, I can change this to red. And I can change this white one to black. And there's some blood. Way too much blood, actually. I think if I just drag this the other way, like that, there's some blood. Mace. Okay. Like this. Add new material. I'm gonna make it metallic. And I'm gonna decrease the roughness just to make it look more like metal. I'm just gonna select all of these and shift select the one that we just added the material on to, and press Ctrl L, materials, to link the materials. And we also need this one to have the same material. So I'm gonna select this, press Ctrl L, materials. And if I click on this, then the other material is gone. We still want this material. So I'm just gonna add a new material and change it to this material. Now if I tab into edit mode, press Alt A, and press L to select links. Select the vertices that are linked, press assign. And now that looks right. I'm just gonna scale this up, I guess. Okay, go back to layout, and I'm gonna add in the handle. I'm gonna press Shift A, cylinder, and I'm gonna rotate this. Actually, I'm not. I'm just gonna press the slash key. Now I'm going to tab into edit mode, bring this top face up a bit more like that, I guess. I'm just gonna add some stuff to this, and just gonna tab into edit mode, press Ctrl R, and press 2 and click, right click, scale it on the z-axis by pressing SZ. Now I'm going to press 3 and Alt select this, press E and S, Shift Z, just adding some detail, I guess. And for this bottom part, I'm going to press E, 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 turn on proportional editing by pressing O, and scale it. That looks kind of terrible, but you know, whatever. Next, I'm gonna press Shift A, Mesh, Cube, and I'm gonna move this on the y-axis like that. Actually, I'm gonna delete that and add in a UV sphere instead. Press GY, and I'm also going to keep it like that. Actually, I'm gonna scale it down a little bit. Scale it and press GY just to make it like close. And now I add the screw modifier and click on this little drop down menu for the screw axes. It'll basically like rotate around this. Now if I click on the screw part, increase the steps like that, and increase the iterations to getting very laggy. 15. Now I'm just gonna scale it down and I'm gonna because it's like way too laggy, gonna tab into edit mode, click 1, right click, actually click 3 because all the drop down menus are different, and click unsubdivide and do that twice. Make it like 10 times less laggy. And now if I scale it down, it'll scale it like this, but if I tab into edit mode and scale it, it'll scale it like this, I guess. Okay. Good. Going to I think that's good for this actually. I'm gonna press the slash key again, and I'm just gonna press Ctrl J once I apply the screw modifier. Just Ctrl J, join these together, rotate it on the y-axis 90 degrees, move it on the x-axis, or on the z-axis up a little bit, and now we also want to right click, shade smooth. Actually, it looks pretty bad, so we're gonna go here, auto smooth. Now it looks much better. I'm gonna rotate this on the x-axis 90 degrees. Just move it to the right spot, like this. And I'm just gonna select this, press Ctrl J, turn on auto smooth, increase the auto smooth. If I just press play, then that works well. Okay, this still needs to be textured, and I'm just gonna make this like wood, I guess. So I'm gonna add new material, new. I'm gonna go to shading, and what I'm gonna do is on this base color, change this to a wave texture. Yes. Click on the wave texture, tab into edit mode, and press L on this, and click assign. And now there's like some black and white stripes along here. I need to increase the distortion, decrease the scale, to like scale up the texture. Not sure why. Decreasing it increases it. Okay, like that. And again, I'm going to add in color ramp. I'm gonna make this one brown, dark brown. This one lighter brown. Okay. I actually can't quite tell the difference between those. Okay, now for this part, I'm gonna add new material. New, click assign. I guess I'm gonna make this black. Okay, I think that's good. I need to actually increase the roughness to make it look more rubbery. Actually, base color to like a dark gray-ish color. I'm just gonna alt click on this, press Control B, add some bevel. Actually, I'm gonna press 2 and then alt click, select these two edges. It's really lagged out for me. It's probably because of that screw modifier. Okay, now I can just easily render this out by clicking on my camera, pressing 0, and now my viewport is all weird, so I'm just gonna press 1, and then I'm not sure why it's rotated, but I'm gonna press Alt R and Alt G. Now I'm gonna press 0, and I'm gonna press Shift tilde key. And now if I just use WASD, I can move around the viewport. So I guess I'm just gonna render it like this. I'm gonna increase the end under the camera icon. Increase that a lot, something like 176 meters. Now just go to render. Obviously we don't want to render it in Eevee because Eevee's bad. So render it in cycles and add a new material for this and make it whiter. And also we want to add in a light and a sunlight. But sunlights look bad, so cool rendering a trick. I'm going to press Shift A and add in a plane, and I'm going to move this up, scale it up, scale it on the x-axis, scale it on y-axis, and we just want to cover up this. That, and press 0 and move it up out of the scene. I'm also this on the and going to add more material to this and make it emissive. I'm gonna increase the strength to 10. And emission always looks better than light for some reason. And then what you can do, just click render and render image. But actually when you do that, it'll render it from the first frame, and we don't want that. We want it to render from frame 52. So just increase the start to 52, and then I'll render it from frame to 52. And I think, yeah, okay, so if you go to this camera icon, you can increase the render samples to like whatever that number is, big number. I'm not going to do that because it takes forever. And just click render image. I'll render it out. And so if you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I'm also posting weekly now, like 3 times a week, I think. So, bye.